Hello everyone, and welcome to another LSJ review, this time for the 2017 psychological thriller movie, Gerald's Game. So Gerald's Game is directed by Mike Flanagan, who'd go on to direct Doctor Sleep, which is a movie I must get around to in the future. Probably should read the book first. And it's also co-written by Flanagan and a man named Jeff Howard. It's also based on the Stephen King novel, where if you ask me to rank Gerald's Game in the pantheon of Stephen King fiction, I'd say about lower middle. Uh, the general gist of the movie is Gerald, played by Bruce Greenwood, and Jesse, played by Carla Gugino. They go to a remote house, far away from civilization and other people, to try to, I don't know, spice things up in their marriage. And that leads to Gerald handcuffing Jesse to a bed and then fucking dying of a heart attack. So the movie is Jesse trying to escape. Now, the book, between my wife and I, we were able to kind of piece together what we remembered from the book, bits and pieces. We remembered different things. It's not the most memorable Stephen King book, so it's not like when we watch it, we've got a clear kind of idea of what scene this is from the book, etc. Doesn't quite happen with Gerald's Game too much. We don't know all the little ins and out bits of plot, but we do know that Gerald's Game is mostly in Jesse's head, and you can't really do that for a movie. So the way they get around that is they have a version of Gerald, talking to her, part of her subconscious, I guess, and then another version of Jessie herself, who's a bit more confident and sure of herself, and these two kind of have a battle of wits and just try to convince her what she needs to do, how she needs to escape, and just kind of talking about their relationship and their lives together. And that's really good. Most of the movie, almost all of the movie, is Carla Gugino handcuffed to the bed as she has this ongoing dialogue with different versions of herself. And it works. It's absolutely fascinating. Greenwood is really good, but the show stealer, of course, is Carla Gugino. I mean, she has to be handcuffed to a bed for almost 2 hours, so it'd be a tough performance, but she fucking nails it. It's really good. Now, I guess the third major character in the movie is this giant, and if you see this giant, you'll recognize him from Star Trek Next Generation and Twin Peaks. His name's Carol Strachan. I've definitely butchered that name, but if you think of the It's Happening Again giant guy from Twin Peaks, or Luxana Troy's butler, you know exactly who I'm talking about. The movie was super engaging and interesting when it was just the two actors acting up a storm. There's a bit of an intensity about it too, which I find interesting. The door was left open, so there's a dog that keeps coming in and out. And there's only a couple flashbacks. I thought there'd be more. There's only a couple. The subject matter is very, very disturbing and hard to watch. And I also think those things went a little long too, because I think we got what they were coming across, but no, they kind of had to push it a little further. And I think we all kind of knew where it was going, so didn't really need to dwell on it. In fact, I kind of wish that portion of the film wasn't told in flashback, and it was just told the way the rest of the movie was told, just with the Bruce Greenwood and Carla Gugino acting their asses off. Now, there is another element to this movie they try to bring in, which is this supernaturally kind of element, which involves the giant guy, but it's very underdeveloped compared to everything else. And because it's so underdeveloped, it doesn't really feel mysterious or all that interesting, but it's a big part of the ending of the movie, and the ending of the movie is so rushed. I feel like the movie took its time to to breathe and to, you know, to tell its story. But the ending just feels like, oh, we got to wrap this up. Okay, done. All right. Okay. Which is weird. So that kind of brings that movie down for me, the ending. But the performances are absolutely fantastic. There's some interesting camera angles and stuff with the direction as well. But it was always going to be tough for this movie because the book's just okay. And at the end of the day, the movie's just okay too. It's a 6 out of 10. That's the thing. Everyone wants to do the next good or great Stephen King adaptation, but not all of Stephen King's stories are that great. And that's fine. He's my favourite author, so there's heaps of books by him I absolutely adore. Gerald's Game isn't one of them, and as much as I wanted to love the movie, some of the elements are underdeveloped, and the ending is rushed, which I think ruins it. Now, you might be wondering, or maybe you don't. Who cares? I'm putting this under an LSJ review rather than a late review, even though it came out a couple of years ago. Still think this is recent enough for people to check that people might want to check it out. Some people don't like watching old movies, I guess. It's on Netflix, so you know you can watch it there. It's fine. There are worse things to watch. It's actually quite engaging for a lot of the time. It's just there were a couple of things that kind of let it down. It happens. Alright, so give me a like, dislike, share, subscribe, all that crap. Follow me on the Tweety. I'll see you next time. Wife's getting a phone call. Do, do, do.